Octa research team is calling on the national government to start sending additional health workers, equipment, and support to areas in the Western Visayas and Mindanao. Experts say the hospital system in these places may be overwhelmed amid rising COVID-19 cases. Professor Ranjit Rai says the surge has not yet reached its peak, and they are expecting the number of cases to increase over a week or two. He adds the surge will most likely last for at least a month. As the surge progresses, Rai warns of more people going to the hospitals. He emphasizes that doctors and nurses are the most important aspect of the healthcare capacity. Octa notes it is seeing a spike in cases not just in Davao City but also in South Cotabato, General Santos, Cotabato City, and in the Western Visayas.
Yung increase dito, this is very concerning sa areas na to. In some LGUs in Mindanao, mataas na yung hospital utilization rate nila, hospital occupancy and ICU occupancy. So this is concerning. Sa Davao City, hindi pa naman po yung hospitals, but the increase in cases is concerning because kailangan ng mapabagal yung pagtaas ng kaso. Otherwise, we might see some hospitals starting to become full even sa Davao City.
For the Octa research team, Davao is now among the epicenters of COVID-19, including the Western Visayas. But they say Metro Manila is still considered an epicenter, as it still averages almost 1,000 cases per day. The health department, however, disputes the use of the term epicenter, as it refers to an area as the source of infection. Amid the spikes in the region, Cebu province is deviating from the interagency task force's whole-of-nation approach. Cebu Provincial Board member John Ismael Borgoña challenged the IATF to question the province's swab upon arrival policy in court. The Cebu Provincial Board is set to hold a special session tomorrow to amend its current ordinance directing incoming travelers to be swabbed upon arrival in the province. This is different from the IATF policy requiring OFWs to be quarantined for 14 days upon arrival, where they spend the first 10 days in an accredited quarantine facility. Quarantined travelers will be swabbed only on the 7th day from their arrival.
Kung natay na violate nga based sa ilahang palisiya sa IATF, well, gingkuan na ta sila, no? File na ta sila to declare as ultra vires ang atong ordinance. And of course, kami ta administratively liable ni if they believe na sayop among gibuhat. But ang ilang gibuhat noon, sakripisyo nila ang mga Cebuanon. Nagi sa dito di palanding sa Manila ang kuan. So kami ta ilang ikon dili ang mga Cebuanon.
3.2 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines are set to arrive in the country today. This is so far the highest number of vaccines that will arrive in a single day. 1 million doses of Sinovac vaccines are arriving at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport this morning. Tonight, over 2.2 million doses of Pfizer vaccines through the COVAX facility will also arrive at the NAIA. Of these Pfizer vaccines, over 210,000 doses will be delivered straight to Cebu and Davao. The rest of the vaccines are for deployment in Metro Manila. National Task Force Against COVID-19 Chief Implementer Carlito Galvez says the bulk of the vaccines will be focused in 1,500 barangays nationwide. These barangays are identified as centers of gravity of the local pandemic.
Nagkaroon ng ang ating mahal na Pangulo noong last meeting po namin, nagbigay po siya ng directive na i-priority ang ibang mga lugar na nagkakaroon ng spike. Gusto niya na sabi niya na considering ng Metro Manila may sizable na na supply ay i-devolve natin yung ibang supply doon sa mga areas na umakyat katulad ng Zamboanga City, Mindanao at saka yung ibang areas din sa Visayas.
The Octa Research Group says we can expect better results by October should government stick to its COVID-19 vaccination plan. It said it's important to finish vaccinating the target population for Metro Manila to contain infections. The expansion of the rollout is focused in the region amid limited supply doses. Meantime, the health department will deploy more vaccines to local governments after they appealed for more doses to begin inoculating the next priority group. Our Tristan Odalo has the details.
This week marks the start of the vaccination rollout for the A4 priority group or essential workers. While a number of Metro Manila cities have launched their own vaccination drives in earnest, other LGUs struggle to get their supplies.
Last week at saka ngayong week, medyo nahirapan talaga yung LGU considering that na-delay yung ating supply.
Galvez hopes there will be no further delays on vaccine arrivals this month.
Baka ma-stabilize natin ang ating supply this coming June 14 at pwede na tayong umarangkada sa A4.
This mega vaccination site in Marikina City can inoculate 4,000 to 5,000 people on a single day. But today, there are no people waiting in lines to get vaccinated, and only LGU personnel and empty chairs will welcome you instead. It's a proof that amid preparations and people's willingness to get vaccinated, the limited vaccine supply remains to be the biggest challenge.
Maraming gusto, hindi lang A4. Actually, halos lahat na gusto na magpabakuna. Kaya lang, ang problema nga natin, iba, meron tayong categorization na sinusunod.
Marikina Mayor Marcy Teodoro says vaccine hesitancy is no longer the issue.
Ang problema ay yung steady supply ng bakuna. Hindi na yung vaccine hesitancy. As we speak, we have 80,000 individuals pending in our list.
Navotas Mayor Toby Chanco says their city managed to vaccinate at least 900 workers this week but halted it on Wednesday due to lack of supply.
Hindi na po tayo nakapagbakuna sa A4 dahil wala na po tayong bakuna na pwede pang A4.
Manila Mayor Isko Moreno understands the supply problem but he sees the influx of workers wanting to get vaccinated a good sign.
Wala kami problema sa tao. Gusto ng bakuna ng tao. Ang kailangan na lang bakuna.
Antipolo city officials, on the other hand, lament what they call vaccine supply inequity. In a post, the city says that sana all madaming bakuna tulad ng Metro Manila, citing the disparity in vaccine allocation. Local governments are calling on the health department to be more transparent in allocating COVID-19 vaccines. Tristan Udalo, CNN Philippines.
The country isn't in a hurry to vaccinate minors against COVID-19 after the Food and Drug Administration allowed Pfizer's vaccine to be used for teens 12 to 15 years old. Health Secretary Francisco Duque says the Philippines will wait for other countries to roll out their vaccination for minors so the government can learn from their experience. Despite the FDA's approval of the Pfizer vaccines used for teenagers, Duque says scientific studies are still limited about the impact of vaccinating children against COVID-19. He adds the Philippine Pediatric Society will conduct its own study on the effects of COVID-19 vaccines on children.
I think prudence dictates that we wait, we give it more time as to what the experiences are of the other countries that have boldly introduced this vaccination program even to the pediatric age group. Maraming mga implikasyon ito eh. Una-una, yung consent form. Wala naman nakalagay sa consent form na yung bata ay kasama. At ano ba ang magiging arrangement dito? Ano? So, malabo pa po yun eh. Wala pa po tayong malinaw na hakbang patungkol po dito.
Senator Manny Paqui disagrees with the president's assessment of his understanding of foreign policy. In a statement, Paqui says Mr. Duterte was misinformed about his stance on issues concerning the West Philippine Sea. Paqui says his statement reflects the sentiment of the majority of Filipinos, which is to stand strong in protecting our sovereign rights while pursuing a diplomatic solution to the dispute. On Tuesday, President Duterte said Paqui should study first on foreign policy after the senator pointed out the need for stronger responses on the maritime route with China. As differences mount within the ruling party, Senator Ronald De La Rosa calls on members and allies of the administration to rally behind a single ticket in the 2022 elections. De La Rosa says while Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte and Senators Bongo and Manny Pacquiao are qualified to run, he is hoping they will all agree to support only one presidential candidate to avoid division within the administration.
Sana kasama pa rin. Nandiyan si Inday, andyan si Manny Pacquiao, andyan si Bongo. Kung gusto niya tumakbo, sana isa lang, hindi yung maglaban-laban sila. If they still listen to the president, very big role yan ng Pangulo. Kung kausapin sa presidente, ikaw wag ka nang tumakbo, ikaw lang, suportahan natin. Kung susunod sila, maganda sana. But hindi ko masigurado kung susunod sila.
The COMELEC says there will be no extension of the voter registration period for the 2022 polls. Applicants can head to COMELEC offices from Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the registration. They are required to bring their IDs, a pen, and the voter's registration form. The observance of safety protocols, including the wearing of face masks and face shields, will be strictly observed.